we're calling this section fact or fake. And
Yeah, so fact or fake? I am going to read some headlines. They're real headlines. I found them online, and I'm going to direct one of them at each of you. So I'll say your name first, then read the headline, and then you need to try to decide whether or not it's real, it's a true story, or if it's a fake story. And we're going to start
okay.
with Chris.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah, in a quotation, like one quotation mark, it says alien spacecraft found at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
That sounds very fake to me, but now I'm concerned because it sounds so fake that I'm worried that it's real. But I will say fake. I'm going to guess fake.
Okay. Yeah, your gut is right. The person that found it, he has a long history of finding alien things, but it's very unclear if any of them are ever actually from not this planet.
Where
So he's made his career doing this stuff, but I think he's a scientist, so people believe him, but yeah,
I knew it was
was
fake
it
because they
actually a
didn't use
thing
the
or was it?
term UAP, which is what all the real crackpots use now. If I'm going to listen to it and you say UFO or alien spacecraft, like you're not deep into the conspiracy world enough for me to hear you out.
so it has to be
Yeah.
false. Yeah, and it's unclear if there's anything found. It just looks
Oh,
like it was just all just clouded in secrecy, this whole thing. Just aiming for publicity. The other interesting thing is another technique people can try is I put in these headlines into a search engine and then I search them, and then other news sources had reported the same thing, but their headlines were different. And if anyone wants to play that game sometime, just how different news sources relate information, because that is also interesting and gives you an idea of the context of the issue. All right, Nina.
Okay.
Runner somersaults across the finish line and still wins the race. Did you say what? Fact?
Fact.
Fiction? Yeah,
Fact.
you're right.
Oh, yeah, someone could do that.
Yeah.
Totally. They just have to be fastest.
Yeah. Yeah. It was someone at the high school
Oh,
track meet. Yeah. And she was very fast. And she tripped and turned it into a somersault and then still won the race.
oh,
there was
wow.
a trip.
Yeah. It's like total recovery. Yeah. It was, yeah.
That would have been great if it was like totally intentional because she was just like winning so hard and she felt the need to somersault.
Mhm. That's what I thought when you read it to me. See, we need to read the article.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. All right. Alexa, toxic ingredient linked to cancer, autism discovered in brown rice.
I mean, you said autism, so that's obviously fiction. That's a good one, though. Like brown rice they're saying now that's for autism.
Brown rice, yeah.
Okay, it answers the fact of how come vaccines caused autism, but autism is older than vaccines because brown rice has been around for a long time. So, I would explain that gap if I'm trying to confirmation bias myself.
And I'm pretty sure they stuck in the word autism just so that this article would be clicked on, because the ingredient, I believe, is arsenic. And it can be found in brown rice. It does exist, and it can cause cancer. But we're very fortunate in Canada because we have limits to the amount of arsenic that can be in our rice. So if it was at a level that would cause harm, it can't even be sold in our country. There are other countries that do not have the same standards that we have. So rice with high levels of arsenic could be sold there. But this is one of those ones that I'm like, I don't know. I'd feel like for this one, I'd have to like so deep dive on this. It would take me forever.
I heard you say I heard you say that that's actually fact. It just depends.
Yeah.
On the circumstance.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because
Exactly.
Alexis said fiction, and then we never clarified whether it's fact or fiction.
Yeah. Well, and I would not clarify whether it's fact or fiction. Honestly, on this one, I just want more information because when it comes to health stuff like this, I want to see a really robust study. Yeah, in order to actually determine whether or not it's true.
It's a huge issue going back as long as there's been science reporting, in that, you know, journalists want to find cures and they want to find breakthroughs and the next insulin or whatever. And most science gives you an indication of something that might be possible, and it pushes you in a certain direction. And so, obviously arsenic in rice is not a good thing, but it feels like autism was thrown in there, like you guys said, just to get clicks. And so you have to be really careful with science reporting. Even credible organizations have trouble reporting on studies.
The vaccine study was initially published in the one that got all the autism, where all this started, was initially published in a reputable. That's the issue, was that happened in the first place. And then even when they went back and were like, okay, our bad, shouldn't have done it, didn't matter. It was already in people's heads. They wanted to believe something.
Yeah.
They wanted to think their kid was like, instead of just being like actually accepting their kid for who they are and learning more about it, I got to find out who to blame for this, because I can't handle the idea that my kid is not my understanding or definition of normal.
Yeah,
Well, that last one was.
It goes to show how much
Yeah.
damage can be done by false information being published, and then even if it's retracted, like that study that you're mentioning was absolutely debunked, and
Yeah.
but somebody went
If
on.
you go to the website, it says retracted right across it. Very big, very bold from the actual organization. It's like, this is not true. And yet people still believe it. So.
I mean, because they'll probably come to the point of believing like, well, I bet they're silencing him. Like and then you do have like a bunch of like Boeing 737 whistleblower guys actually getting killed, like, or dying, very suspicious, shoot themselves in the back of the heads in their trucks right before, it feels like just we now in this information overload environment too, like we know of so many insane stories now that we would have thought were not feasible or credible at all. And then you like even the house hippo, right? Like, is that crazy to think? Like they act like it's this you knew it wasn't real. You never seen a little hippo before. Like, what? They're breeding dire wolves. Like, I don't know. Maybe they do have a house hippo now. Like, I don't even understand where we are in terms of science. There's so much information. Maybe it's like a little robot thing, or that's totally feasible. It's no longer like just this obvious, well, come on. You knew that. None of this is obvious anymore. Even the brown rice thing. Obviously, brown rice didn't cause autism, but there's a kernel of truth in the fact that in certain locations and in certain quantities, it could actually give you cancer.
I was just going to say these headlines are an example of deformation or deformation, because I counted them and each of them has 10 words. And for all of these topics, we didn't stop at 10 words when we were discussing them. They're not 10-word topics, and most things aren't.
Is there any 10-word topic?
It's a good starting point. No, it doesn't exist. So it's a good starting point, but we need to continue the conversation. And like Alexa, like you were doing, you were asking questions about it. And that's such a good thing. Is this real? I don't know what to believe. That's a great place to be, because at least you're questioning it. And now it's okay. Try to go out, try to find the information, and you'll probably come up with a better understanding of the topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which actually leads us to our challenge to our listeners, which is this week, we've kind of already challenged you to do it. You read something and you have an emotional reaction, and we know it will happen in a week. Read the article, read the whole article, try it once, and see if the headline actually reflects the article, or was it just written to get your attention and be designed to clickbait to be shared.
Definitely read the whole article. Is a I would say it's a a cornerstone of like information literacy, media literacy, all the important literacies that we try to underpin our work with. And maybe after you read it, your emotions aren't going to be as charged and you won't need to share or have a big thing about it. Or maybe you will. And then at least you read it and you know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Right. And you have the
Yeah.
information you need to.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we had someone share something and then someone says, "Did you read the article?" So,
Yeah.
read the article this week.
The whole thing. Right to the bottom.
Right to the bottom.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad for any listeners who came right to the end of this episode. Is there anything else, Alexa, we need to cover?
I think that's it for that one, yeah.
So there were a lot of things that came up in our discussion, and we're going to follow up quite a bit of that. But I think next week we'll look into the history of misinformation, disinformation, and where it comes from, which I think helps a lot in terms of understanding that it's not something brand new. It's just here in a different form. Thank you, Diane and Nina.
Great. Thank you.
Alexa, we will see you all next week.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Give us a good rating. It helps us get more listeners. And ring that bell.